You cute. Shout out to hubby for these new lights. I'm super loving them. I got what I wanted on my Christmas list. Well, a couple of items on my Christmas wish list. I got it for Christmas, y'all. Hi guys, Lisa Sykes here and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. Thank you guys so much for tuning along and just for all the support that you've provided me over the last month. I'm just so excited. And every time that I do this, every time that I record another video, it just gives me the confidence that I need to show up here and provide you the value and the information with value or information that you may need and love. So, if this is your first time here, go ahead and pause for a moment if you will. Make sure you come back and subscribe to my channel so that you are notified every time a new video goes up. I made my lock appointment the other day and it hit me that I am officially 2 years locked. Actually around this time, well, around the holidays 2 years ago, I combed out a first set of locks that I had, which I started with the coil method, and I restarted them on my own using the 2-strand method, and I've been locked ever since. So this is officially year 2 straight with the 2-strand method. And so, of course, as you've read in the title, today, this video, I'll be sharing with you 5 things to consider when starting your lock journey. Okay, and so the first thing that I think anyone should consider is your employer, your job. Of course, I'm all for the movement. I'm all for self-expression. I've been natural for 10 years, so I believe in the whole Black beauty, being able to or learning how to love yourself in the way which God made you. But when you sign up to a specific job, if you sign up to a specific job and you agree to be groomed a specific or a certain type of way, like, don't show up to these people's job talking about you've changed your mind and you're on this new journey. If it is a job that, didn't have any requirements for grooming for male or female, then of course by any means do so. Show up, show out. I'm all for the movement, but if you're in a position where it could potentially be a hazard because of the work that you do, then that's something that I think that you should want to consider. Maybe perhaps quit, or I don't know, but definitely something that you want to consider before starting your lock journey. So number two is your hair texture. I think your hair texture should determine the method that you try to use in order to start your journey. I think essentially everybody ends up with a set of nicely matured locks, depending on how you care for it throughout the journey. But within the journey itself, your texture, to me, determines a lot. For example, whether or not your hair will unravel, if you have a texture that's just super fine, or if you have a texture that's somewhere in between. So for example, with my hair texture, when I first started off with the coil method, I live in Florida, and I felt as if every time I got my hair retwisted with that coil method, the style just wouldn't last because of my hair texture and the porosity of my hair. It would retain all the moisture in the air, and my hair would just frizz up by the end of week 1. And so that method, it just wasn't the best method for me. But I feel like when I started with the 2-strand twist, because of my texture, I was able to style them in my last. I was able to essentially last between retwists and do a lot more with them as well. So number 3, I feel like naturally this will follow number 2, but the method. There are a number of ways that you can start your loc journey. You can start it with the coil method. You can start it with the 2-strand twist. You can start it with braids. You can also do a free form, but you also want to consider the method that you want to use to start your loc journey. For me, as I've already stated, I started with the coil method, combed those out, and started with the 2-strand method. I felt as if not only did it allow my hair to be cuter and maintain its shape or structure before in between my retwists, but I felt as if like the 2-strand method allowed me to just do more when it came to like styling them before they officially locked. I was able to tuck them. I was able to pull them up in ponytails. With coils, you can't always, I don't really see you pulling coils up in ponytails yourself. Now, your loctician may be able to do that in a very careful way, but nah, it wasn't working for me. I don't really see myself doing that by myself. And also like just, I feel like if your hair is a little bit more coarse, your hair would lock faster as well. So if you're someone who wanted your hair to lock faster, honestly, I take that back. Whether coils or 2-strand twists, if you have more of a coarser texture, I feel like your hair, you good. Just period. It's gonna lock, it's gonna do what it do. It's gonna be super hella cute. If you have that type of texture. Someone with a softer texture may want to like seriously sit down and think about whether or not they want coils, 2-strand twists, or braids. Okay, and so number 4, the size of your locks. Anybody who knows me will tell you that my heart is with sister locks, but child, my pocket, I ain't got sister lock money. I don't have sister lock patience. I don't have sister lock time. And so while I wanted locks that were super, super small, I felt like this medium size. Actually, when I retwisted them myself, I thought I was getting them super, super small, but they didn't end up being small as I thought they were going to be. But I preferred like micro-sized locks, but ended up with medium locks. Essentially, you want to consider the size that you want your locks to be, the time that it's going to take to maintain those locks, because those smaller locks are going to take more time to 1, be retwisted, and then 2, drying when you're sitting under the dryer to get it, you know, dried. The smaller the lock, the more the locks that are in your hair. And of course, the more hair, the more locks that are on your head, the more time it's going to require for you to like sit under the dryer. I don't know. That's how I think of it. But I don't know. That's how I think of it. But maybe people with thicker locks, maybe it'll take them a very long time to sit under the dryer as well. But they don't spend that long amount of time getting them retwisted either. So they're still saving time. And of course, that time that, you know, that you're spending getting them retwisted is going to translate over to money. The smaller the locks, the more money it's going to cost you if you're having them retwisted by a loctician. And if you're retwisting them yourself, baby, you costing yourself money as well, because it's costing you time, but technically time is money, so Hakuna Matata. Not Hakuna Matata, but tomato. Is it tomato? You get my drift. And the final thing that you want to consider when starting your lock journey is the care. Who will be caring for your locks? Will you be caring for them yourself, or will you be allowing a loctician to care for them? Now, palm rolling sounds fine and super easy until you attempt it yourself. And for me, like, nah, sis, that's not where it's at. I locked my hair so that I can buy back some time for myself. And so palm rolling is not something that I truly see myself doing. Not my whole head, at least. And maybe just the front. I'll attempt it maybe one day. But will you be caring for it yourself, or will you be using a loctician? Also, if you'll be using a loctician, what type of products does that loctician use? Even while I was relaxed or as a loose natural, when I was serviced by a professional, I always paid very close attention to the products that they use. So now, even with my hair locked, I'm very conscientious of, whether or not they're using water-based products, if they're using creams or gels or oil in my hair, because I want to stay away from, and anybody whose hair is locked want to stay away from anybody who's using any type of gel or cream on there. This is still part of that last, the number 5, the care. If you're using a loctician, like, what that schedule look like? Like, what does that schedule look like? I didn't realize like how many people were actually locked, or how busy locticians actually were, and the large amount of customers that they serve, until I could just never get in with my loctician. Like, it was just super hard. And a majority of them have schedules that fill up fairly quickly. So that's somebody that you want to also be mindful, something that you also want to be mindful for as well. Like, what does their schedule look like? Is their schedule compatible with my work schedule, my life schedule, my needs? But just overall, period. So that's really all I got. I think those are the main things that you want to consider. If I missed anything, go ahead and leave it in the comments. If you are considering a lock journey, feel free to hit me up. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I'm the Lisa Sykes on Instagram. I'm gonna leave it in the description box. And go ahead, of course, and like that button, share, and subscribe to my channel. Till next time, love you guys. Bye.